Hey everyone, welcome to Power Hour. Happy Tuesday and happy National Wine Day. I'm so excited to be here with you all. Hey Katrina. Um, if you can hear me over on Facebook, let me know in the comments. But tonight we are doing my first Power Hour, which is basically a name I'm thinking about giving my live streams. Tonight we are talking about money and mindset. Let me quickly introduce myself for those that are new to the tribe. My name is Kashira. I am a business and brand strategist. I specialize in working with women entrepreneurs on creating magnetic messaging, packaging their expertise, and building consistent revenue in their businesses. And I do that through my coaching, my books, and my membership community, and also through my upcoming retreat. And you can learn all about me at thepowercollective.co. So, tonight, again, we're talking about money and mindset, and it is National Wine Day. So, we are doing a wine themed live stream. So, I actually have a whole bottle right here of one of my favorite brands of wine. This is not necessarily my favorite, but I actually just grabbed this yesterday. So, I really like the Stella Rosa brand. I'd love it if you can put in the comments what your favorite brand of wine or type of wine is, but Stella Rosa makes really good sweet wine, and I'm a sweet wine drinker. I prefer whites and rosés and things like that. So this is actually Stella Rosa Black, and I don't even know what this is, but I just grabbed this for the first time. So it says it has flavors of blackberry, blueberry, and raspberry. So I did already pour a glass, and it is super sweet. So I have my wine glass. I hope that you have your wine glass as well. But tonight, again, we're talking about money and mindset, and I felt like it'd be really, really good to talk about money and mindset over wine because sometimes it can be a bit of an intensive conversation, and it's been something that I've been speaking about rather consistently in some of my more business focused live streams. Like mindset just kind of like hops up and it like pops in there. And so I really wanted to take some time to do a dedicated session for you on money and mindset. And so I'm going to kick off just by telling you why this is important to me. And then from there, I'm going to give you some tips on things that I've actually done to build more of a growth mindset and how that's actually had a positive correlation on what's been happening within my business and my growth trajectory. So if you are interested in that, make sure you stay tuned and get comfortable. I don't plan to keep you too long. And of course, I knew that I had comments coming in because I'm like, y'all being real dry with me and y'all don't be dry with me. But now I can see the comments coming in. So hey, Katrina, Vernetta, Candace, Carmen, shout out to the squad for tuning in. So, okay, so let me get into my talking points before I start rambling. So, again, money and mindset. So, I want to take you back. I want to take you back to like 2016, okay? So, in 2016, I was at this place where I was doing all of the things. Let me move my little wine glass in front, okay? So I was doing all of the things online. I was all over the place. I was building a following. I had a lot of good engagement, but I wasn't really seeing growth with my money. I was not seeing like a positive trajectory with my revenue. And I know for some of you that may be struggling to get clients, you might feel like that's the worst thing in the world to struggle to get clients. But envision actually having clients and not making no money. Envision actually being busy as ever, booked, but like not really being able to say like here's what I have to show for it, or not being in a position to quit your job. And I felt really frustrated, and I didn't understand at the time like what was happening. I'm like, I know I'm knowledgeable, I know I'm smart, I'm helping my clients make money, and I have a lot of credentials, like I know that I can do this, but for whatever reason I just wasn't getting traction. And I remember I finally made the commitment. For some of you have heard the story before, but I promise you we're going somewhere with it. So I finally made the commitment and the decision to get serious about what I was doing and make a change. And that change was investing in a coaching program. And if you think that I'm selling you a coaching program tonight, I'm not. So relax. I'm not pitching coaching or the retreat. So, we can breathe deep, take a sip. We're just talking about money and mindset right now. So I made the investment. The first investment was $500. The second investment was $1,500. And at that moment in time, that was the most I had ever spent on my business. And it was a drastic jump compared to what I used to spend on my business. So I remember being in this coaching program. It was good, but I felt like I still couldn't piece together the dots, because a lot of what I was learning in this coaching program, it was really focused on like sales and building a profitable service-based business. I really struggled with what I was missing, because I didn't feel like I was getting a ton of new stuff. And this was no shade to the coach, because she was excellent, but this was like indicative of where I am. And some of you may be able to relate to this. It's like, this program is good, but like, I'm not understanding why I'm not making no money, because I feel like I'm doing this. Right. And so I remember being on a group call with the coach, and just kind of asking a question and kind of voicing where I was, but in a positive, constructive way. And the coach was just like, she's like, I really feel like you're in your own way. She's like, you could be so much further ahead, but you won't move. And I was like, but what do you mean? And she was like, your pricing. And I'm like, what's wrong with it? She's like, it's the whole problem. And of course, when you start to raise your prices, a lot has to change with that. Is bigger than just like, adding a comma or whatever else. But really, like, thinking about how even when she said raise your prices, I was like, okay, so increase it by like $100. Like, what you mean? And like, literally, she was like, no, increase it by like 2,000. I was like, girl, what? And this is way back, y'all, when I was charging like $100 for coaching. Okay. So, but this was like way back. And even just having a conversation of being receptive to it, but even feeling this fear of like, how in the world am I going to sell something at that rate? Like, that just did not make sense to me. And that's when I became familiar with the term limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs, okay? And so this money mindset thing is so important, because it can literally be the top sabotager of everything you're doing. Like, you can have the most beautifully branded Instagram and the coolest website with all the dopest features, and you can have really great messaging, but literally your money mindset can have you in a place where you're never able to quite hit these goals. And then never being able to hit your goals then causes a domino effect of self-esteem issues and value issues, and then wanting to throw the business away kind of issues. And a lot tends to come with that, right? And so thinking about how since 2016, I've actively worked on that, and may have made drastic shifts, like amazing shifts. And this is why I can gently nudge my clients and gently nudge you all to say, like, I've been there. Okay. I've been where you are, and I understand if you do struggle with this. Like, I've been in your shoes, and I can recognize instantly when someone has that. And so I want to give that insight to say, like, money mindset is something that we really have to work on, because it can just throw a wrench in all of our plans. Another mindset issue that came up within my entrepreneurial journey was around beliefs around abilities, but not from the standpoint of, am I able to coach? Am I able to train? Am I able to manage social media? I'm glad, Renetta, because that makes me feel good, because I'm like, am I just rambling? But I feel like I'm being very vulnerable. Okay, Daniela, don't shade me. I try, but you need tough love. You're different, and you can handle it. You from the Midwest like me, so we can handle it, right? But the other thing was beliefs, right? And when it comes to belief about own abilities, again, it wasn't about can I coach, can I train, can I speak, but it was really about, one, would anybody like ever actually want me to coach, train, or speak? Like, I know I'm good at it, but would they want me? Because again, when I was coming up, and I'm saying this loosely, when I was coming up as if I'm old, but like I was building my business in the online entrepreneurship boom, when there was like, the top 5 big coaches, and then there was like the people who already had like all this great technology and the people who were the early adopters on Periscope. And a lot of these people, and not to be mean, but a lot of them like, you know, was either scamming or regurgitating a lot of the same information, or didn't really have true expertise, but they were early adopters, so they were able to just like capitalize on that boom. And it's like, I felt like being skilled and being talented didn't seem like it was enough. It felt like the biggest thing you had to focus on at that time was like build the following, build the audience. And it's like, I don't feel popular enough to do this, and if I'm not popular, are people really going to want to pay me for that, right? And so in the way that manifested, it didn't seem like at the time a mindset issue. It just seemed like fact. Right? And some of you might feel like that. Like, let's keep it 100. Some of you might feel like, because I don't have a certain amount of followers, then I may not get the clients that I want, or I may not get the opportunities that I want, or I may not even feel qualified to play in the game because I don't have these numbers. Which is why I, present day, scream to the top of my lungs, like, please don't bank on that, because now, actually being a full-time business owner that's actually making consistent money, that's actually making multiple six figures, I can tell you, them followers don't matter. They don't. The bulk of my clients I'm friends with other legit coaches. The bulk of our clients are not the ones who are yes girl, yes honeys in our comments and sharing all of our stuff. They real quiet. They may follow and engage a little bit, but like, they're not doing the most. Like, I've had people say, I've just been on your email list for years and now I'm ready. I don't follow you on Instagram. Like, and it's not even shade. It's just like what it is, right? And so I literally, on my intake form, if you've ever booked a consultation with me, you see I ask you like, how did you hear about me? Or, where did you see me where this made you book a call? And it's like, it's not necessarily Instagram, which I'm going to say Instagram because Instagram is where I have the most followers, right? But anyway, I'm being transparent because this is real conversation that we need to have, because again, this is all stuff that's in your head. This stuff has nothing to do with execution. It has nothing to do with your branding. It has nothing to do with what you're putting out. It has to do with what's going on the inside, because what's going on the inside will manifest on the outside. When you post on social media, it's gonna have a vibe associated with it, and it's not gonna be the vibe that you want. It's gonna be a vibe of low energy, desperation, not really there. And I've seen this before, because like, I've had some clients where I've had like a personal discussion about like, what's going on? Like, talk to me. Like, let's take away these titles. Talk to me for real. Because it's like, I'll see them post on social media and I'm like, I can tell that you just posted because you have to, and not because you want to, or not because that somebody's going to be touched by this or reached by this. And so that's how we start having these conversations around like, talk to me about what's happening on the inside, because again, I can hand you the blueprint. I can tell you exactly what to do. Again, think about the first coach I had. Her program was mad expensive to me at the time. Like, I was like, girl, it was mad expensive to me. I got in it. I probably learned one or two new things. It was still a great program. No shade. That's still my boo. Still rock with her. But it was like, again, I don't think I was the right audience for that. But anyway, like, I'm in it and it's like, literally, I'm doing all of the things that she said, and all of these things made her $250,000. Why am I not making that? Mindset. It was literally because I refused to wrap my head around raising my own prices, and I already had proof of concept. I already had proof of value. So I want you to think about, how is this showing up in your life? Because your perspective and your beliefs, again, can mess up the whole game, the whole ball game. And so I'm kind of jumping ahead in my notes, but like, that's the why is this important piece. The why is this important? Why should I not click out of this? Why should I not just go on about my day? Is because this can mess up your whole bag, and it can mess up your life. So I want you to think about, and if you want to put it in the chat, you can. I recognize this is a sensitive conversation, but if you want to, feel free. But like, where do you feel you have a limiting belief, or where do you feel like you need to make a mindset shift to like move yourself forward? So again, it showed up for me in money. It showed up for me with comparison and just even just belief around capabilities. Like, are people going to want me for this particular thing, right? So I'm just going to check the comments real quick. So Janae on Facebook is saying, I saw a flaw in how I was not willing to share with myself about the things I don't do well. This was stopping me from being able to improve. Girl, right? Having a discussion. I applaud you for that, because it's so difficult to be like, this is where I have a gap. Let me go get some support in that, right? So Janae says that she feels better to able to be honest with herself. Yes, sis. Yes. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I also want you to know, Latoya says, I just joined Fearless Founders. Welcome. After months of listening to your webinars, podcast, and YouTube, I'm trying to get to that coaching level with you, and take your time. That's why Fearless Founders exists. Fearless Founders is a really good starter point, get you comfortable, get you acclimated, help you make some money while you're in it, and then move forward. So I totally get where you're at and where you're coming from. Okay, so to transition a little bit into the teaching portion, I want to give you 5 tips on how to help with mindset management, mindset mastery, and actually shifting your mindset. And then I'm going to wrap up tonight with talking to you about my own practices around journaling, meditation, affirmations, and all of that that's helped me. So I don't want to have you here all night, but I am going to try to get through all of this content. So, Courtney on Facebook says, thanks for doing this. I need to shift my mindset from thinking I'm in comparison with my 9 to 5, focus on niching down and running my business. Yeah, I had to talk with a client about this today. She was really beating herself up about feeling like her job was taking precedence over her business. And some things are just going to take a front seat in the back seat. So I feel that. Raven says, I have the mindset that I'm not popular enough and don't have enough followers, and it stops me from moving forward with confidence. I've been where you are. And the first step is recognition. That's literally the first step, is recognizing that this thing exists, right? So let's get into these tips that I feel like is really going to help you all. And if you have more comments, feel free to drop them in. If I'm not seeing your comment, blame my live streaming software, because the devil is busy right now. So, and Sweet Girl Cosmetics here on Instagram says that she shares the same mindset. So a lot of us have similar stories and experiences. So point number 1 is check your fuel level. Okay. And so this was inspired by an article I read in Inc. magazine. And so checking your fuel level literally means being cognizant of what you are fueling yourself with. And if you listen to my latest podcast, The Bombshell Diaries, I talked about this. This is probably point like 1 or 2. But what you're fueling yourself with in terms of consumption of content. So when you think about all of the different platforms that you're on, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Have you ever had an experience where when you logged into one of them, you just didn't feel good? Like as you're reading, you're like stressed, or you're anxious, or you're feeling down, or maybe you follow people who, as they're posting their wins, it's making you feel insignificant because you don't have a win to post, or you haven't gotten that win yet. Like, these different examples is the true essence of what check your fuel level means. When you are on this journey that is, while it seems popular right now, it's really not. It's really still the path less traveled. Let's keep it 100, right? You have to be so intentional about what you allow into your digital environment. Okay? You have to make sure that you are auditing your timelines and detoxing your timelines as needed, and strip away the ego piece. If you need to unfriend people, do it. If you need to unfollow people, do it. If you need to mute people, which has been my favorite thing to do it. If you need to block somebody, do it. Period. Even the people that you actually admire. If you follow people who you admire, but they have a tendency of making you feel away, even though they may not even be trying to, right? It may just be the nature of the situation, right? If you follow people who are making you feel away, you may need to take a step back, right? And so one coach that I'm friends with, she always says, she's like, I don't follow my competition on social media because I don't want to risk like being influenced by what they're doing. And like I feel that. So it's like I don't really follow many people who do what I do either. I follow a lot of meme accounts and Virgo accounts and meditation accounts and things that's going to make me smile, that's going to make me laugh, that's going to make me learn. But I don't spend a ton of time being like, oh, how many clients did this coach book, or how much money did that person make, or let me go look at the shade room and see. And if you like the shade room, no tea, no shade, but like I just think about how sometimes it's really toxic over there. And so you have to start to cleanse all of that and let all of that go. Start checking your fuel level. And also one thing too, a lot of the social media success is smoke and mirrors. So anyway, we're gonna go move on to the next topic. But before we do, another thing that matters when it comes to the type of content you're consuming is also think about TV and think about radio. So the music that you're consuming, the TV shows that you're watching, you have to actually do a legit gut check. And I'm not saying that any type of show is bad or any type of music is bad, because I like a little bit of everything. But if you feel like after you watch Love and Hip Hop, you mad, or you feeling down, or you just not feeling the same way that you felt before you start watching Love and Hip Hop, you should probably stop watching it. And I'm just using that as an example. But you have to be that meticulous, because when you're on this journey, it is so easy to get distracted and get off and get in your feelings and get down. And if you're creative, especially like me, we can't afford to be in our feelings. If we're in our feelings, we're not going to be able to create, right? So checking your fuel levels and recognizing that that's something that you need to do for your own self-care, period. And that's the end of the conversation. You don't owe anybody an explanation as to why you don't engage with them on social. You don't owe someone an explanation about why you don't want to watch the show with them. It just is what it is. So I hope that point made sense for you, that you can follow what I'm trying to say. So moving on to point number 2, the next one is check your surroundings. So this is around your network. So let me tell you, this one right here can be so slick, right? Because when we talk about checking your surroundings and being cautious about who you're spending time with and who you're engaging with, I think our minds instantly go to the absolute worst case scenario, where it's like, this person is just super toxic and they're just super negative and they're just, really mean and blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times the people that you need to not even cut off, but the people that you need to take a step back from, typically aren't that awful. Typically, it's like a subtle thing where it's like, you have a friend who you love so much, you've been friends your whole life, and as you've grown up, you've grown and they haven't. So when they call you, it seems like they're always going through something, and you always counseling, and you always therapy. And it used to be like a badge of honor for you to be that, and now it's starting to drain you to the point where now when you get off the phone, you need a glass of wine and you can't do nothing, and now you need to go to sleep early, or now you mad. Sometimes it shows itself like that. Sometimes it shows itself with the people who, are passive aggressive about the little business you have. Starting off by them calling it a little business, right? Those kind of friends who, and we don't even need to have a discussion around friends supporting friends' businesses, because that can get controversial. But even thinking about how, you'll have people who just their face get tuned up when you talk about your business. Like, they don't ask about how it's going, and they seem to have little types of comments, right? And so really thinking about how that little passive aggressive comment over brunch can sit with you for a whole day, a whole week, and it can throw you off your game and cause you to have all kinds of negative questions about yourself and what you are doing. You have to check your surroundings. You have to be cognizant of who you're letting into your space, because that energy is heavy. Energy can be transferred. And again, it's already hard enough to build a business, let alone to do it and feel like there's no one rooting for you, or worse, there's people who are rooting against you. So really thinking about that. And then also too, be careful with, because I've learned this the hard way, be careful with the people who seem to be your friend only because you're in business. Now, that's one I've seen where it's like, oh, they have this perception about how you're doing and what you're working on. And it's like, they're always in your inbox wanting to ask you a quick question because y'all girls, or wanting a hookup, but they never really seem to be there for you. They never really seem to support you for real unless they need something. Be careful with that, because those people as well can betray you. They can stab you in the back. They can have little passive aggressive things, and in a moment didn't seem that deep, but for some reason you can't stop thinking about it. And I'm bringing these things up because I've seen people, because if you've lost a friend, you know that really, really hurts, right? And so I've seen people, literally go through friend breakups or be in denial about it. And like, they can't focus. It gets them off track. They're not able to do their live streams for the week, or they're not able to work on their social media, or they aren't able to go to this event because, they're sorting things out. And I know for those of you that haven't experienced this yet, you probably think I'm sounding crazy. But for those of you that have, like, I'm right on the money. And I've been coaching for many years, and I've seen, and my clients tell me personal things, of course. So it's like, I've seen all kind of scenarios. I've seen husbands not be supportive, but I'm gonna mind my business about that because I'm not married, so I don't understand. But I've seen husbands push back. I've seen moms push back. I've seen siblings push back. I've seen best friends for years steal the other friend idea. Like, when I tell you, I've seen it all. And it's just like, these types of things can really just infiltrate your environment and get you off your game. So really think about, I'm not encouraging cutoff culture, but what I am saying is you may need to limit access. You may need to take a step back. You may need to have more boundaries. You may need to leverage do not disturb on your phone after certain hours, right? I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm gonna sip my wine. Y'all still drinking your wine? What kind of wine y'all got? Some people on Facebook told me. Bernetta said I'm preaching, so that means I'm doing good. Okay, so point number three. Point number three is check your speedometer. Okay, so check your speedometer. This is one of my favorite tips ever. And so when I say check your speedometer, for those of you that drive a car, you know that there's a speedometer where you can see how fast or how slow you are driving. Is anyone in here a fast driver? Like, because I feel like I had to do really well in Fast and the Furious, but like, I don't get tickets though. But like, if Fast and the Furious needed extras, I'm totally available. Like, I feel like I hate traffic and I hate driving slow. Like, I need to. Janae's doing her herbal tea liver cleanse tea. Girls, can you DM me that after, like, the name of it? Because I need a cleanse tea. I've been wanting to try one, but reviews be so sketchy, I can't commit. So I would love a recommendation if you like it. Okay, so checking your speedometer. So what I want you to do, now we don't get tickets, ma'am. You gotta look both ways for the feds. You can't just be out here speeding all willy-nilly, okay? But when it comes to checking your speedometer, there's two options here. It's, are you flying down a highway in a good way? Basically meaning, are you enjoying the moment? Are you living life to its fullest? Are you giving your all of the time? Are you living your best life now? Or for my highway people right here, or are you always sitting at a red light with your foot on the brake, not moving ahead, or slowly inching a little bit, but not quite, never really taking advantage of any opportunities, not moving your business forward, not going after the goals 100% wholeheartedly like you are called and blessed and ordained to do, right? Not actually living life. And how this can show up can look a lot different, because you may say, well, I'm not paralyzed and sitting here with fear and this and that, but it's like, that can show up in, like, you're saying, I gotta wait till I hit this amount of followers to release this, or I gotta wait till I hit this revenue goal to invest in this, or I gotta wait till I lose this weight to go to the beach. That's another example of sitting at a red light. There's like this pseudo perception of I'm going after my goals, but like, you been going after him for 12 years. Since 92. We've been sitting here waiting on you. Waiting on you to use the voice that God gave you. Waiting on you to put out the product that he put on your heart. You've been chilling since 92. I'm just saying. So check your speedometer. And you don't have to tell me this, but if you feel like it, feel free to put in the comments. Check your speedometer. When it comes to your business, are you flying down the highway or are you at a red light? Angela says, why you in my Kool-Aid? I love that. Are you doing it or are you at a red light? When it comes to your actual life, like you, the woman and or man watching this, are you flying down the highway? Are you living life like you supposed to? Living life looks different for all of us. Living life for me looks like booking flights with, just booking a flight, going to the spa, doing what I got to do, not waiting on nobody, not waiting on no friends to get their money together. I don't have time for that. I'm not waiting on you to go take myself here. Like, no, right? That's what that looks like for me. But I only started doing it in the last year, y'all, because now I feel like I'm grown. But like, I'm just saying, when it comes to your health, are you flying down the highway and doing everything that you can to optimize your health, or are you sitting at a red light making excuses about it? And I'm bringing that up because, y'all, I've been in the gym. I've been hitting the gym consistently for the last couple of weeks. So I'm finally pulling it together. So I'm not at the red light no more. I'm still in the slow lane though. Like I'm still, I'm over to the left. Or over to the right. The right's a slow lane. So I don't be over there because I'm like over to the left. No, that's the fast lane. But I'm in the slow lane right now when it comes to the health and fitness. But I'm not at the red light no more. I at least merged. So thinking about, are you flying down the highway? Are you taking advantage of every opportunity? Are you maximizing it? Are you taking risk? Are you investing in your business? Are you going to networking events? Even if you're shy, are you marketing yourself as hard as you could? Are you really putting yourself out there when it comes to marketing your product or service? Are you really charging what I would tell you to charge if you actually... Janae says, I have my emergency flashers on in a slow lane, building a foundation. I'm literally right behind you, so we're good. but I having that gut check. And so present day, I even have a gut check just to make sure, because mindset work doesn't stop. This isn't a course where it's like an end date where it's like, okay, today, February 18th, I'm great. No more. Like, it's always going to be consistent. And let me tell you too, ladies, as you evolve in your business and you hit certain revenue levels, new mindset issues pop up. And we can talk about that another day because I'm going a little long here. But yeah, okay. More things come up. But what makes that easier is your willingness to accept and adjust. Okay. And congratulations, Janae. You've been hitting your goals. That's awesome. Okay, so next up on how to manage, number 4, actively work to expand your vision. So actively work to expand yourself and expose yourself to new things and new horizons. And you can do this simply through Google or YouTube. Okay, you can simply, for example, if you grew up, let's say you grew up maybe in a low income area and maybe you've never lived in a house before and it's on your vision board. Girl, get on YouTube and watch some of them real estate tour videos of those really big houses and expose yourself to something that you ain't ever even seen before, so that even if you don't really want to live in a super big house, you've now seen what's possible and your vision is like instantly expanded because you literally know that like more is available for you. So actively look to expand your vision. You cannot stay in this same bubble, in this same, little circle, but you have to actively do that. And so again, using something like a YouTube or a Google is super free to just like look for whatever it is that you're looking for when it comes to expanding your vision. For me, this also looks like going to a lot of conferences that aren't the popular conferences, that aren't the empowerment circuit conferences, because the conferences where don't nobody know the speakers on the flyers are the ones that I want to go to, because those people on the flyers that we don't know are the millionaires and billionaires who have bought back the block and they've done all of these things. And it's like they've done things you can't even wrap your head around. And I've been to enough of them to know, like, I'm still blown away by some of the stories that I like to hear. And so I go to those things because even if I don't have plans on being a real estate mogul or whatever else, going to those things and hearing those stories just opens my mind to the possibilities. And sometimes it's all you need. Sometimes you need something, whether it's virtually or going off somewhere. And if you don't travel, I highly recommend it. Start local, start with the next set over, like kind of expand, because even just traveling and going to another city, especially if you're from a smaller city or small town, it just opens your eyes and it shifts your vision. It shifts your goals. It shifts like what you even see for yourself. Like there's the power of vision. This is why vision boards is so powerful in law of attraction. Like you have to actively expand your vision, and you would be surprised at how that also makes you a little bit more creative and more of a visionary when it comes to your own business, even if it doesn't relate. So that's point number 4. And then point number 5, before I get into my own practices, is talk to yourself nice. I know that that's not like proper grammar, but talk to yourself nice. Okay. Listen, the world is cruel and mean enough. There are people on the internet. I talked to one of my clients about this today. She had her first troll online. I mean, there's people on the internet who literally exist online just to say mean things to you, who are literally just here to see if they can get a rise out of you because they enjoy that, right? There's people in this world who are going to not like you because that's just their personality. They just don't like people, or they don't like whatever it is you're doing, right? There's people in this world who are going to talk about you. There's just so much that's going to happen. So at minimum, be nice to yourself. The world is harsh enough. Don't be harsh enough. Don't be harsh to yourself, right? And so what I mean by talk to yourself nice is be careful with what you're saying and what you're thinking. Do a word check. Is what you're saying to yourself empowering and encouraging? Do you find yourself saying a lot of, or thinking a lot of statements that start with, I can't, I don't, I won't, I haven't, this isn't, this won't, I'm not? Those types of statements can manifest itself. So here's a very simple example. I'm not good at Instagram. Very simple example. I'm not good at Instagram. That's going to manifest by you literally not being good at Instagram and getting no traction. Versus saying, Instagram isn't my strong suit, but I'm committed to actually learning how to leverage it to reach the audience that I need to serve. And then actually moving on that and putting in time to learn the platform. You don't have to learn it enough to be a social media manager, but learn it enough to post, comment, read your analytics, and get off, right? Because when you say something as simple as, I'm not good at Instagram, you're almost closing yourself off to whatever advice or insight that could come on Instagram, right? And then it also becomes a qualifier statement for whatever bad thing happens after that. It's like, let's say you invest in Instagram graphics, right? Like you go buy some Instagram templates that look really cute and you post them, and then there's no results. And it's like, I knew I wasn't good on Instagram. And it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that sounds so simple, but it's like scarily accurate and really, really powerful. I love this. I would love to get more traction on my Instagram. Absolutely. Right? Or I've seen people say, I've seen this a lot. I'm not good at technology. And it's like, technically, I'm not the best at it either. But I learned. I'm self-taught. When I've designed my website, my personal brand website, and I'm like, I learned. I sat on this computer recently, because I recently did this. I sat on this computer for 4 hours watching video trainings on how to finesse Squarespace so that I could make this site what I want it to be. I'm not a natural designer. I'm not easy on the computer, right? But I learned and I committed and I spoke it into existence that I was going to build a beautiful site that creates engagement. And that's what happened. So I want you to start checking your language and checking your thoughts at the door immediately, because again, it all starts in here. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, then you won't be good enough. If you tell yourself no one's going to buy your program, then no one's going to buy your program. If you feel like your prices are too high, people aren't going to pay them. Like, that comes across. It comes across in your messaging and your posting and your conversations. If you have lack mindset, if you have doubt, that's going to correlate. So Janae is saying people need to look at their gaps in knowledge as an opportunity and an indication as to what you need to learn. Absolutely. Like, start to shift that and look at it as a chance for you to grow and expand into something else, right? Like, hey, I now have a chance to now sharpen my toolkit and make myself a better business owner, right? And I even say, like, some things that I outsource for and I hire for, I still learn enough about it to know the person's doing a good job, right? And so I think that, because like I feel like this is an interesting concept, right? Because I think that this is bigger than strengths and weaknesses, right? Which we all know, strengths and weaknesses. This is bigger than like recognizing your blind spots and your weak spots. I think that when people have these types of statements when it comes to their business, I think it's a defense mechanism, because the concept of both success and failure are terrifying. And so if either one happens, these types of blanket statements are like your safety. It's like your safety blanket. You're like Linus with the blanket off of Snoopy or whatever. It's just like this blanket statement. So if this thing, doesn't work, it's like, oh, well, I don't have no experience with, and it's like a safety thing, right? Because these same people who will say, I'm not good at Instagram, as my example, will still go and buy up everybody's course, will still go and buy up everybody's ebook, but may not fully commit to the craft of learning. It's like you took the action of purchasing the thing, but then you didn't really commit to actually engulfing yourself in the material and now moving forward with this. And then I also think, and I don't want to get too psychological with you, but then I also think that, again, I think the fear of success is also really scary for people, more scary than they actually think. And it's like, but if I do get good at Instagram and this thing blows up, what next? How am I going to deliver? How am I going to maintain this? How am I going to actually like show up and blah, 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 right? Because I'll tell you, when I hit my first $100,000 a year, I was like, oh, great. 2 minutes later, I was like, how am I going to do this again? Am I a one-hit wonder? Like, what is this? And like, literally I had to check myself at the door immediately. So I currently live in Pittsburgh. I grew up in Chicago, born and raised, but I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So someone on Instagram asked for those on Facebook. So anyway, so power of positive thinking is really, really important. So I have 15 minutes left, so I'm going to be wrapping up soon, but feel free to put any questions or comments you have in the chat. But I'm a huge proponent of positive thinking and affirmations. If you're at my Facebook group, you know I've been sharing affirmations pretty regularly in the group since the start of the new year, because it's something that I really, really enjoy, and it's something that I love. So affirmations, for those that are familiar, they're basically just like positive statements that you say about yourself or about your circumstances, and you typically say them in the first person. So as if it already was, right? So you tend to speak life over your business, over your health, over relationships, over your money, over whatever else, right? And so the 3 core things that really helped with me shifting my mindset, in addition to those 5 like strategic things, was affirmations, journaling, and meditation. Those 3 things really helped me, but I had to make them a practice. And there's a difference between just doing something and making it a practice. Because when you make it a practice, you're now committing to it. It becomes a part of your life. It becomes a part of your routine, whatever else. So affirmations are really huge for me. And I am going to share with you how I use them. But I'm a huge fan of like the affirmations like on Pinterest and affirmations like on Instagram, and I also really like affirmation cards. Like, I've probably bought 7 decks, not 7, I'm exaggerating, but I have three decks of different affirmation cards. And so I really love them, and I feel like they help me when they need to help me. But I felt like there was a gap in the market when it came to affirmations and really fun, cute things like that when it came to business owners, content creators, entrepreneurs, side hustlers. And so I'm actually really glad my friend YB Mindframe just joined on Instagram, because I remember tweeting one day and being like, I really want to create a super powerful deck of affirmation cards for business owners. And I've seen some before. This is not a completely new concept, but they just didn't really hit the mark for me. They just weren't they just didn't meet my expectations like at all. And so I remember my friend messaged me and was like, first of all, you need to delete that tweet. And second of all, you need to go and produce this product. And I was like, okay. And the moment I said, okay, but like, I didn't think I was actually going to do it, because I'm like, this is not my lane. My lane is business coaching. And then my lane is also makeup, because I sell makeup, right? But I actually started to put in the research, and I was really surprised at how fast it started to come together and how the stars kind of aligned when it came to printers and designers and what I wanted it to be, and then all of this stuff. So one of the things that I'm introducing to you today that I'm really excited about is a brand that I created called Shift Your Power. And Shift Your Power contains, I'm a little nervous about this. So Shift Your Power consists of two physical products. So the first physical product, and I'm going to have this separated so I can hold it up into both cameras, because I'm streaming on my phone and my computer. But it consists of a deck of 51 affirmation cards. This is what the back looks like. And so the tagline for Shift Your Power is for purposeful, passionate, that's not it. For powerful, passionate, purpose-chasing entrepreneurs. So that's the tagline. So this is what the back looks like. And you get a deck of 50. And they are actually sized like playing cards. So they're not too big, which is a pet peeve of mine when it comes to cards being too big. So it's a deck of 51 cards. And you get 50 affirmations in there. And then you have an instruction card. So here's what the instruction card looks like. And the instruction card gives you recommendations on how to use it. However, you can use it however you choose. I will share with you how I use it. So this is the first thing, affirmation cards. And I was really, when this came in the mail, I cried. So I was like, oh my God, this is so new for me. And this is me doing what I teach and telling you all to do. So affirmation cards, okay? This is the first thing. The second thing is actually an affirmation journal. And the affirmation journal contains 50 affirmations, and only 10 of the affirmations are the same as the deck. So someone on our Instagram's sold. And so the website to get it is kashaira.com/shift. If anybody wants to put that in the comments for me, I'd love you forever. But kashaira.com/shift. So I'm going to show you really quickly what the inside looks like. So the first couple pages of the journal tells you how to use it. And then you have on each page an affirmation for the day. And then you have journaling space. And so in the beginning of the journal, I actually give you a prompt with a couple questions that I would recommend that you do. So let me go back, because I am going to show you some of the affirmations with this. Before these two existed, I was just making up my own, right? And so if you're in my Facebook group, I post some of my own. And so I would say these affirmations to myself. I would put them on, thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Delana. I would put them on Post-it notes all over my house, being Mary Jane style. And I would say these things to myself. I would say, I am a full-time business owner with a profitable business. I would say I am a 6-figure business owner. I would say I have clients who are ready to pay me in full. I would say these things to myself, and they would slowly start to manifest. And then the second thing with the journals that I would do is every night, and this is something a client told me. So I have a client, her name is Tiffany Huff. Tiffany is a coach for authors, so she can help you write your book, publish your book, get your life. And Tiffany writes really powerful stuff. Tiffany has gone through a lot in her personal life, so she knows how to get your story out in words. So one thing Tiffany used to tell me all the time is you need to start journaling. You need to write how you're feeling, because I'm gonna just tell you, I have a lot on my shoulders. I have a lot of pressure. And I needed an outlet to get it out. So she would tell me to journal. And so I went to TJ Maxx, like we all do. And I got a journal, and I would write in it every night. And I would feel like a weight lifting off of me when I did that. I also was able to better see where I had issues and limiting beliefs. And when I say issues, I mean like, okay, I can recognize from tonight's journal prompt that I need to do better at vetting clients, because maybe today I had a really bad, consultation that I felt like was just like not it, right? I'm just making that up. But journaling really helped me to recognize patterns and things that I wanted to either shift, and also gave me some space to celebrate myself. So the website is kashara.com/shift. You can get these things individually, or you can get a bundle. And I believe the bundle is $35. So you can get the journal and the cards for $35. I believe the journal by itself is $15. I think the cards are $25. I should have looked. I can't remember. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I just know the bundle is $35. So with these cards, I do want to share with you a couple of the affirmations. So I picked out of the deck, again, you have a deck of 51. I picked 4 that I wanted to share with you today. And I'm just like, can we shout out the design though? Because the design aesthetic is like everything. But the reason why I picked this size is that I wanted them to be small enough where you can put them on your whiteboard, like I did back here. Well, on Facebook, y'all can't see, but like, there you go. On Instagram, they couldn't see if I sit right here. So I put them on your whiteboard. You can put them in your planner. You can put them on your vision board. You can put them around your house. Mary Jane style. I have a couple that I'll like prop up in my office. And actually, what I like to do with all my affirmation card decks is I actually like to pull one for the week and let it be my theme for the week. And let me tell you how God worked. I was gifted a 2020 planner from my lawyer. And literally in the planner, every week there is a space for you to write the mantra for the week. And I'm like, is that a coincidence or not? Because I've never had a planner that had space for that. And so I'm like, okay, this is really meant to be. So my planner inspired me to actually make sure that I pull every week, and I let that be the mantra. And then, of course, Instagram wants to pause. Okay, so I let that be the mantra. But if you're having a really rough, like super rough week, you can actually pull multiple. Okay, so you can put it in your planner or your vision board. So some of the affirmations, so that you can see how the card looks. This first affirmation I'm going to read to you says, "Today, I will conquer my revenue goals. I am good enough, smart enough, talented enough, and strong enough to do this." And so here's what the card looks like. Make sure my folks on Facebook, I can't really tell with this camera. This is what the card looks like. So this is the first one I want to share with you. And this is I had to shuffle the deck a couple times because I was like, I'm pulling too many. But these are some of my favorite ones. The next card says, "I create more wealth than I ever dreamed of using my smarts, talents, and strengths." And I really love this one, especially for those days where you feel like you're just not booking clients, you're not making sales, the invoices is not coming through as paid. This is a really good one to say to yourself. And in my Facebook group, when I post these, I always say it out loud like you mean it. Say it as many times as you need to for there to be power behind it. I know it may seem silly if you don't do affirmations yet. It may seem silly, but this practice can shift your mindset, and it can increase your confidence, and it can help you manifest things into existence. The law of attraction proves this, as in the Bible as well, talks about power in the tongue. This type of stuff, it matters. The next one says, and I'd love it if you would repeat this one after me in your house. This one says, "There are hundreds and thousands of people in the world who desire to hire me for my services." And if you have a product, you can sub it in, okay? So again, there are hundreds and thousands of people in the world who desire to hire me for my services. And you know what else is crazy about a statement like that? When you say it enough times to the point where you feel it and you believe it and you're feeling encouraged, it makes you more excited to go and market. It makes you apply yourself differently. It makes you show up differently, which then helps with this actually coming true. Okay, moving on to the last one. that I'm going to do today. The last one's kind of long. I put a couple sentences on this because I wanted this to be the cards you need to pull when you need to check yourself, but in a positive, loving way. This card says, I trust the process. Say that one back to me. I trust the process. I trust the journey. I trust myself. I know that all of the answers are inside of me, and I have everything I need to be successful. I'm going to say it one more time. I trust the process. I trust the journey. I trust myself. I know that all of the answers are inside of me. I have everything that I need to be successful. So, sorry, I just felt that in my spirit. Like I felt the emotion behind that. So the cards are currently available. The journal is available. If you feel like this is a tool that you need, you are welcome to go to kashira.com/shift. There's many more powerful and super long ones in this deck. I have a very limited amount in stock. When I ordered these, I don't know. I had a lot of like back and forth because I just felt like it was so outside of my lane. However, as a coach, I know the power of this because I do this with my clients in a sense of like helping to uplift them and saying to them, you know, that sounds like a mindset shift that needs to occur, you know, kind of being, you know, inserting, hey, this is where we need to recognize some of the things we talked about earlier, you know, the red light scenario, checking your surroundings, checking your fuel engine. So there's a limited quantity available. I do have them in stock. This is not a pre-order, so you won't wait. If you want the journal, it's probably going to ship out on, if you want the bundle or you want the journal by itself, this is more than likely going to ship out on Thursday, whereas these can start shipping tomorrow, just because the box of journals is scheduled to be delivered tomorrow. So, you know, Amazon be playing. So anyway, so I mentioned when I marketed tonight's live that there would be a giveaway. So the first 5 people who order anything, it doesn't have to be the bundle, will actually get, from a whole other business, will actually get a free lip gloss from me. So I pulled a couple. These are not necessarily the colors that I'll send, but maybe. But if you don't know, I own a whole other business called Life of a Bombshell. And the tagline is makeup that matches your hustle, as well as unlock your inner bombshell. And so we have really cute, fully pigmented lip glosses, and and this does relate, this is not random, but our product names are meant to inspire you. They're meant to get you to action. Instagram says I have 1 minute and 40 seconds left, so I'm going to talk super quick. But like one lip gloss is called Do Not Disturb. So I know some of you are like, I love Do Not Disturb in terms of the phone feature. We have products called Mogul, you know, things like that. So first 5 people to place an order will get a free lip gloss. Again, kashira.com/shift. If you have questions on how I use these cards, how I use the journal, if you want more insight, feel free to let me know in the comments or slide me a DM on Instagram, because Instagram is going to cut me off. And I'm totally happy to come back and just show you a little bit about my meditation, my affirmation, and my journaling practice. But before I wrap up super quick, so part of my bedtime routine is I like to reflect on the motto. You know what, Latoya? If you order, I will have a separate gloss from you because I have a whole new stock of inventory that I haven't posted yet. So I'll make sure you get a new one. But anyway, so whatever my mantra is for the week, I meditate on that at night. If I need to, I'll pull another card. And then from there, I actually go through a guided meditation. And I use an app called Insight Timer. I clear my head. And then I spend the time journaling before I actually get into bed and go to sleep. So that's how I use this. Thank you all for tuning in and letting me be vulnerable with you and letting me share my newest baby with you. I hope that you find it of value, and I hope that you're able to leverage it to see real shifts in your life and your business as I have. Again, if you have any questions, y'all know how to get in touch with me. Love you all. Good night.